Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Amirash, j'espère que vous allez bien. And today we are going to do the Discours Rapporte of CBSE Class 10 French, Term 2. That is the reported speech. So let us get started. Now, reported speech is a question which is asked in the grammar of French. And this is a part of a three group ka question. What happens in that group? That out of three questions, you have to attempt any two. And the options are le discours rapporté, le pronopositif, ou le trouver la question. So I would recommend you all to attempt this particular question because it is highly scoring as well as very interesting to learn in French. Right? So le discours rapporté, reported speech has to be started right away. Let's start le discours rapporté. To put any sentence in reported speech in French, there are three things to be taken care of. First, let's understand the format, guys. What is the format? Identify the type of sentence and then find out the appropriate format for that sentence to be changed to the reported speech. That is, if the sentence is a positive declarative sentence or an interrogative sentence, that is a question. In interrogative, if it is a yes no question or a WH question. And the third one, if it is an imperative sentence, then how we are going to change it, that we'll understand after some time. Now, change of pronoun to third person or as per the requirement of the sentence. For example, I have a sentence, Il dit, je vais au marché. So he says, I am going to the market. So since it is given, il dit, he says, then in the reported speech, I would not say he says that I am going to the market. We are going to say he says that he goes to the market. So il dit qu'il va au marché. Why qu'il? Que il. Clear? So in this way we are going to do, don't worry about the format, we are going to do the format properly. Third, no change in the tense but change the conjugation of the verb. So in the tense there will be no change. If it is in present in the sentence, then it will remain present in the reported one also. But do change the conjugation of the verb whenever required. Like je vais, il va. Right? Now let's start the format. Number one, la phrase déclarative. Okay, what is the phrase déclarative? The declarative phrase or the simple sentence. Okay, the simple ones. Identification. How can we identify if it is a phrase declarative? So it can be a general statement. Okay, either it will be positive or negative. A general statement like I go to my school, I am going to visit the park, or I am going to visit the beach. Right, all those simple sentences. Okay, now what will be the format of reported speech? Il plus dit plus que. Okay, for example, this is the format basically. The first question says, the example says, Paul dit à Céline, il va au restaurant. Okay, so this is the question, then direct speech, and we have to convert it into the reported speech. So it will always be in this format, il dit que. So here Paul is replacing il, then dit à Céline, il va au restaurant. So while we are adding the sentences, we remove this inverted commas. Instead of this, we put this, what do you say, greater than and lesser than ka sign, and we add que. Okay, if after que we have il, it becomes kill according to the rule of French that you already know. So il va au restaurant. So Pauline Louis dit. Why Louis? Because here we have Arceline. So if we want to replace Arceline, we'll use the pronom personnel Louis, right, which is a COI. So we say Pauline Louis dit. Sorry, why am I saying Pauline? Paul Louis dit que plus il va au restaurant. Copy it as it is. Paul lui dit qu'il va au restaurant. So what did I do for those who did not understand? In declarative sentences, understand. Declarative means general positive or negative sentences. What we do is we remove the inverted commas and we join the sentence by que in declarative ones, and then the sentence remains the same if it is il. And as I told you, we have to change the pronoun to the third person whenever required, as I give you this particular sentence. Let's take another one. Paul dit à Céline, je ne prends pas de gâteau. Okay, now here you can understand il remained ill. But now Paul is saying to Celine that I do not take the cake. So I will change to he because Paul is saying, right? Paul is saying to Celine. So Paul lui dit qu'il ne prend pas de gâteau. Also change the conjugation as I told you, and you know that if it would have been des gâteaux, Here we would get the gato only, right, according to the verb. Now talking about the first imperative, the imperative sentences. How do we identify? It is a sentence showing a command or a request or a kind of offer, right? There will be no subject pronoun in the sentence. The conjugation will be in any of the three pronouns, tu, nu, or vu. So we won't have any subject pronoun. We won't have sh, tu, il. We would directly have the verb conjugated in either tu, nu, or vu. So how are we going to do? Here the format is il plus demande plus the plus infinitive of the verb. Let's take an example. We have an example. Paul demands à Céline, allons au restaurant. Paul asks Céline, let's go to the restaurant. So what are we going to do? Ask Céline to be replaced with Louis. Okay, so Paul Louis demands. After that, instead of this adding que, we write the. So the plus. Here we got the plus the infinitive of aller. We are doing the infinitive of aller, okay? So what will it be? Paul Louis demande de plus aller. So it becomes d'aller au restaurant. So what did we do? We do the plus infinitive of the verb in this particular sentence. Correct? Okay, let's do the negative one. Paul demande de Céline ne va pas au marché. So what happens in the negative one? We say Paul Louis demande the plus ne plus pas plus infinitive of the main verb. So it becomes de ne pas aller au marché. Paul lui demande de ne pas aller au marché. And if it is positive, d'aller au restaurant. If it would have been recevoir, then de recevoir. Okay, de plus the verb. In positive, que plus the verb. Que plus the subject pronoun. Okay. Okay. For example, one more example is there. Paul demande à Céline, dépêche-toi. So Paul lui demande de se dépêcher. Remember, in reflexive verbs, when you are changing it into reported speech, it becomes se dépêcher. Se plus the reported verb. Done? Like here we did. We had se dépêcher. Right? Dépêche-toi is what? Se dépêcher. So Paul lui demande de se dépêcher. Clear? Okay, so the next one is interrogative. What is the identification? Question mark in the end of the sentence. Easy peasy. Now it is very important that you understand this because it will be important. Format depends on the type of question. If the question is qu'est-ce que or qu'est-ce qui, then the response is going to be il plus demande plus ce que in the sentence. Instead of que, we'll write ce que, and if we have qu'est-ce qui, then it will become ce qui. And demande in imperative and interrogative, we have demande instead of the. For example, Paul demande à Céline, qu'est-ce que tu fais? Paul asks Céline, what are you doing? So Paul lui demande ce qu'elle fait. Paul asks her what she is doing, right? So here we had qu'est-ce que tu fais? So this qu'est-ce que will be replaced with ce que, okay? Tu will become elle since Paul is saying to Celine, who is a girl, right? So tu becomes elle and change the conjugation of the verb faire into fait. Fait with s will become fait with t in case of illel, right? So qu'est-ce que has to be replaced by ce que or ce qui depending upon the sentence. Now why have we written quel? Because que plus l gives you quel, right? Second thing, intonation. How do we do the intonation? Intonation means yes or no type of questions basically, right? Like you are asking, do you want to go to the cafe? So the answer will be either yes or no. In this situation in English we use if, right? If she wanted to go with me. Similarly in French we use si, but we do not change the tense of the verb. Example, Paul demande à Céline, elle promène à la nuit. This should be capital. Just yeah. What happened? Just a second. Elle promène à la nuit. Paul asks Céline, um, do you want to walk at the night? Basically, so Paul Louis demande has been. Si elle promène à la nuit, if she wants to walk, I mean, if she walks in the night. Let me do the translation once more. It is, if she, the question says, Paul demande Céline, elle promène à la nuit. Paul asks Celine, do you walk at the night? So Paul asks her if she walks at the night. Okay. Si elle promène à la nuit. Now, est-ce que il plus demande plus si again? Like, est-ce que tu viens chez moi? So it will become Paul lui demande si elle vient chez lui. Moi becomes Louis, understand. Louis is him or her, and moi is me. So me will become him. Actually, if you talk about her, her is elle. Remember that. So est-ce is also, you are giving yes or no kind of situation. And then you can read the sentence. Now we're moving on to the interrogative adverbs. Here we have il plus demande plus interrogative adverb. Instead of adding que or si, we directly use the interrogative adverb. For example, Paul demande à Céline quand tu viens de Paris. So it becomes Paul lui demande quand elle vient de Paris. Tu becomes elle and via conjugation changes. Another example, quand est-ce que tu viens de Paris? In this it becomes Paul lui demande quand elle vient de Paris. Same. Okay, and the last one that we have, Paul demande à Céline quand viens-tu de Paris? So here we have inversion, Paul lui demande quand elle vient de Paris. So we have completed today's session. Merci beaucoup for attending my session. Right, if you have any doubt, then let me know in the comment section. Okay, doubts to be posted in the comment section. Okay, and now I'm signing off. I hope that you could understand report speech very well. I tried to explain you in the best possible way. Still, if you have any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. Merci.